Skyrim, one of the greatest games of our generation, has the replayability factor of a longtime married mother of three on the night of her 40th birthday party. So many ways to play, and so many players. I, for one, have set out on a path to find new ways to play the game. I've made it my life's goal to make this game way harder than it needs to be. This time around, I decided to be a dick. And no, not a giant 3-inch slong of justice. I'm talking about being this dick and murdering all the families that don't like the way I look when I walk down their street at night. The rules are the simples. I can only do damage into any form of combat in Vampire Lord form. Will this be the ultimate way to get bricked up, or will Todd Howard himself suckle on this succulent Siamese sphincter to the point of no return? Let's find out. Can you beat Skyrim as a Vampire Lord? We start our throat-sucking adventure as we always do, in a cart next to Walmart Thor with his dirty-ass tidy whities over his mouth, and my only thought being, I really hope he keeps his mouth closed. I guess it's a really effective way to shut someone up. Those things have seen some shit. Literally. Anyways, I made sure the game was as hard as I was, and Lokir from Rorikstead prayed to the divines to save him. They didn't. When creating my character, I wanted to be a big kitty, because for the first quarter of the challenge, I'll have no way to defend myself other than sneaking. Me? Meow. I then watched this guy get the neck tickling of a lifetime before being saved by an even bigger kitty when it was my turn. I received my first death, marveling at the might of the new giant black pussy shooting his flaming hot Cheeto breath directly into my feline face, so I had to rewatch the tickles before grabbing some armor and letting my new friends do all the fighting on our way out of Helgen. I tried to help by sticking a broom up their asses, but they didn't seem to mind it. Understandable. Eventually, I made it out of Helgen, activated the Thief Stone, hit on Raloph's sister, and ran from wolves all the way to Whiterun. Once inside, I ignored the dark-skinned chick cause ew, and I was then tasked by Finger to go to Bleak Falls Barrow to get a Dragonstone tablet. But first, I needed to get some form of defense. I needed to become a Vampire Lord. You know, like the main point of the challenge. So instead of hitting up the falls, I decided to take a carriage out to Riften where I stole a horse right in front of some guards. But don't worry, I crouched, so it's okay. Then I headed out and found the Dawnguard through this cave passageway. Isran told me to go to some place to get some shit for him, and little does he know, but I'm just in it for the vampire shit, and he'll never lay eyes on this big black pussy again. After his 10-hour speech, I made my way out to Dim Hollow Crypt. Yeah, about that. I don't know what retard would come in here alone with, no armor, no weapons, and no way to defend themselves. Well, it went how you'd expect for my first try getting past them. And then again, ended up getting the gate open, but still died. And a fourth time. I was finally able to make a run for it and close another gate just as they were about to murder my Siamese ass. Sneaking my way through was a pain up my sphincter, but luckily, sometimes vampires are apparently blind as fuck, because I was just bulling right in front of her. Then I got greedy and tried to steal her 5 gold for some reason, and well, I'm not really sure why I thought that'd be a good idea. I'm sorry, please stop, wait. God damn it. I eventually had to make another run for it and scurried my tight tushy through the big door. I thought I lost them, but out of nowhere they jumped out for the surprise party. Only it wasn't my birthday. In fact, it was the opposite. Once I respawned, they luckily weren't coming for me anymore. I needed to get Serana out now, but there's these cucklords guarding the fancy puzzle I need to do. This time I couldn't get out of it. There was no running and we already know I can't fight them, so how am I going to get them to fuck off? Well, it's simple, but not really. I had no clue what I was going to do. I did manage to sneak up to the button and it penetrated this pussy's appendage, but the boys must have heard me moan and they threw me off the platform. Eventually, I figured out a somewhat viable strategy. See, when they chase me, I can run around on the sides over here and then hop in the water to get this black puss even more wet. I would swim across to the other side and then sneak back up onto the platform while they're still fucking around looking for me on the side I got into the water from. I only have a little bit of time though, because the boys do come slowly walking back to the platform when common sense finally tells them I'm not there anymore. Doing this, I was able to do the fancy puzzle and get the capsule thing to come up. I used all my potions just trying to survive long enough to get her out, but eventually they fucked me. Finally, I got her out of there and she started fucking up the black pussy fuckers. Except not really. She could barely do any damage to them. The spell they're using on her drains her life and heals them at the same time, so she does some damage, but they always regenerate. I tried to distract one of them so she could focus on just killing the other one, but there's one major problem with that strategy. I can't fucking do anything. I died immediately, so that was not going to work. Now I know that her fighting them isn't doing the trick either, so I decided that once I got her capsule thing up, before I let her out, I needed to get them to chase me to the side again, and I can swim back across and get her out while they're distracted. So that way I can talk to her while they're not there, and I don't need to fight them. I talked to her and got the fuck out of there while she distracted them. But now I had another problem. Why not? At this point, just keep them coming. These fucking gargoyles started chasing me. I don't know about you guys, but these things are fucking freaky. How do I open it? How do I open? Open. Ah! Holy fucking shit! Jesus fucking Christ, I shit myself. As you may have guessed, I died. But finally, after all that bullshit, I was able to get my puss out of there by just running past everyone. Thankfully, Serana's magician ass teleported out of there with me, and it was time to take her home. We hopped in the carriage of solitude together, just a girl and her giant black pussy. We made our way to the castle and met her father. Don't worry, I didn't choke meeting him this time. Oh wait, that was real life. Anyways, I told him I am meow, and he showed me his thing. It was very impressive. He then gave me a big kiss on the neck, which bricked me up and in turn turned me into this. Now after all that and everything I've dealt with up to this point, the challenge could officially begin. I left Serana behind and headed out to the Bleak Falls. Once there, I fucked a giant spider and cut Arvel down from the 12 gallons of baby batter I found him in.
Never should have, you fool.
I don't know who he's calling a fool, but like, bruv, do you not see me? He should probably be more scared of me than the big-ass spider. I easily fucked his sorry ass as he was running away. Anyways, I made my way through killing all the Draugr that dared show their dead testicles and got almost all the way to the end when I realized something astonishing. Arvel was right. I am a fool. See, I went all the way through this place and forgot to grab the dragon claw. I took the float of shame all the way back to Arvel's rotting corpse to grab it and headed back to open the door. Once open, I proceeded to learn some Chinese, kill the big boy, grab the tablet, and head back to Finger. I then learned another giant kitty was attacking. I knew this pussy didn't stand a chance against meow, so I headed out to show it who the bigger pussy is. I'll give you a hint. It's me. I went to the top of the tower because I knew as soon as I switched to Vamp Lord, the other dudes with me would go after this puss instead. I got him with a few blasts before being killed by one hit of his flaming hot Cheeto breath. I had survived the initial burn, but the flaming stone on the wall took me out afterwards. It turns out being a vamp boy makes fire extra painful, so the giant kitties aren't going to be the most fun thing for me to be fighting. Eventually, I killed the cat and then turned back into a puss in order to sneak so all the other boys with me won't try to kill me anymore. I then sucked the pussy's soul and yelled out in amazement from the way it made me feel. Jarl Balgruuf told me to go see some old dudes on a mountain. Seems normal. He then gave me an indestructible talking backpack with legs, which I respectfully told to fuck off. Then I waited till dark, cause I'm a lot weaker during the day, and headed off to Ivarstead. On the way, I encountered an epic battle between the blue boys and the red boys, and decided to just kill all of them myself. It actually went pretty well this time. Once the squads were taken care of, I turned back into a kitty before making it into Ivarstead, so they won't all be pissed at me and force me to massacre the entire town. I mean, come on. I don't want to have to kill all of you. I can be a nice guy too. Like, see here, I offered to take Clemec's supplies up to the top of the mountain, because I'm not pure evil. I made my way up the 762,477,992 steps, murdering everything that moved, yelled at the elderly, learned some more Chinese, and headed out to get the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. I then slaughtered some magic people, a good helping of Draugr, and all the spiders I could get my claws on, all the way to not find the fucking horn. I needed to find the bitch that took my horn, so I followed the orders and eventually made my way to meet Dolphin. She told me we gotta go fuck up a giant pussy at Kynesgrove, and I made it there in one piece, but took the hot Cheeto breath right up the ass before I could even transform. I was eventually able to become the vamp, but I kinda just had to hang at a distance because Dolphin was trying to kill me the whole time instead. I would just let her fight the giant puss while I hit him with the period blood blast from a distance. Once it was dead, I had to dip out of there and switch back to Cat so I could sneak and become hidden in order for her to not try to kill me. I then sucked its soul with that vacuum-sealed 360 Gluck Gluck Slam, and she told me we gotta go to a party. Before I headed to the party, I went back to the old dudes to learn the last word of the Chinese song they've been teaching me, and made my way to Solitude to watch a guy get more neck tickles. I gave Malborn all my shit, and once all my clothes were off, I realized something. I was no longer a black kitty. Becoming a vampire cat has turned me into a big white pussy instead. I can no longer go by meow. From now on, I will be known as meow. Anyways, I started heading to the party, but Malborn had some weird shit to say to me. Sup, big dog?
Your job is to get into the party without being fingered as a spy. I'll take care of the rest.
Brother, what? What? As a spy? What? I know I'm a huge pussy, but what the fuck kind of torture methods are the Thalmor using these days? I don't know if I could take being fingered as a spy. I eventually made it to the party and did my best to slaughter my way through, but I definitely needed help from my gargoyle friend to distract them while I killed them. It was way too much for this big white pussy to take at once. I headed down to the dungeon and found this broski tied up. It looks like they caught him, and he was definitely fingered as a spy. That could have been me. I felt pity for the poor man. He was probably being penetrated by the Thalmor I just killed. I put him out of his misery, and he didn't seem to mind. He knew anything was better than what he just went through. Anyways, once he was dead and I got all the shit I needed from the place, they brought out Malborn. I knew there was no way in hell I was going to be able to save him, so I just accepted that fact. I did decide to bring him back to life though, but it was only for a solid 2 minutes, and he turned to dust right next to me. I felt a tear running down my cheek as I mourned him. What a guy. After all that wiener suckling I just went through, I made it back to Dolphin, but this is where things get interesting. And by interesting, I mean what the fuck is going on? You see, I couldn't talk to her because these cultist mother bitches are trying to kill basically everyone in town, and Dolphin, being the friendly aquatic animal in the sea that she is, just had to save everyone. I just wanted to have a quick convo and be on my way. I was way too impatient to just wait for them to finish the epic battle that I tried to use some of my vamp powers on Dolphin to get her to chill for a minute, and we could talk about her crazy former child molester, Esbern. I was luckily able to talk to her after I got her to chill, but I saw something new and enticing. It said I could feed. I couldn't pass up this opportunity to suck on that oversized blowhole, so you know damn well I was going to see what happened. And well, I don't think anyone could have guessed in a million years what was about to happen. Okay. What is happening? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What's going on? What the fuck is going on? Really? Really? This is what we're doing now? This is what we're doing? Alright. This is what I don't even know. All I know is this is the greatest game of all time. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you about that one. I had to get off for the day after that. My mind needed a break. What the fuck is going on? I got back on the very next day and decided it was probably best to not ingest the giant marine mammal in front of me. I just wanted to talk, but the bullshit wasn't quite over yet. I just don't get it. Please, I just want to have a quick convo and be on my way. Okay. Alright.
Did you learn anything useful?
Should I just give up? Should I just stop trying? I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, what is going on? What is this? Anyways, after all that extra bullshit I just witnessed, I made the executive decision to just leave her alone so they can fight. After waiting in the back for a bit, the cultists were dead and Dolphin told me to go find Esbern and Riften. I easily massacred everyone in the Ratways on my way to find Esbern. Of course, Esbern already hated my guts, so I had to hide for a bit. After a good 30 seconds, he completely forgot about the giant vampire beast that just tried to get into his room, and he was cool talking to me. I waited a few years for him to open the door, and now it was time to go out with him. I knew I was going to have to fight more Thalmor, and I didn't want Esbern to be all pissy when I switched back to Vamplord, so I decided to head out ahead of him while he was still grabbing all his shit. I dispatched all the Thalmor after us and made my way out of the Ratways and back to Dolphin. But there was a problem that I've actually never seen before in all of my playthroughs in this game. Dolphin was fucking pissed at me because I left Esbern. I figured he would just show up with me. I waited a while, but still no pedophile. I didn't even know this was possible. So I had to head back to Riften, make my way through the Ratways once again, and back to Esbern. Turns out, he's still fucking around in his room. What the actual fuck? What are you looking for? Waldo? How long does it take to grab some books and shit? Whatever. I made sure he was with me when we left this time. At least everyone's already dead. Never mind. Oh, God. I just let Esbern do all the work on the way out and made damn sure he didn't leave my side on the way back to Dolphin. After our orgy in Dolphin's secret sex basement, Esbern said we gotta hit up Skyhaven Temple. So I made my way there and just tried to run past everyone because I knew if I switched to Vamplord, Ez and Dolph would pucker up their assholes nice and tight once again. It didn't work. So I just let them do all the work while I hung out invisible on the side. Great job, team. Yay. I then solved the world's easiest puzzle once again and slipped my wrist to bring out those sweet, sweet vamp juices. I then stared at a fancy wall for an hour, where they told me I gotta learn a new Chinese word from the old dudes. They were being some mother bitches about it and didn't want to tell me, but told me to go talk to the giant kitty even higher up the mountain. So I took another 78,263,544 steps up to the top to talk to Parthenax. Then I did something completely against my will. I swear, I didn't want to do it, but he fingered me as a spy and I couldn't take it anymore. So I ate 3.5 bags of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and let her rip right on that giant pussy's face. He then gave up the information I needed. He said I needed to go to get an Elder Scroll. I knew exactly where it was, so I made my way straight to the Dwarven ruins and killed another fellow big kitty and all kinds of different robot things. I basically had to just keep running around in a circle while I hit them with my big powerful period blood blasts. Try saying that 10 times fast. I then threw some Falmer off a big ramp and reached an understanding with the Centurion. Then I got pissed at myself. Arvel was definitely right. Like his last words said, I am a fool. I forgot to get the shit from Septimus in order to get the Elder Scroll. What the fuck am I doing? I had to leave to go get them. As I went up the lift, the sun decided to add on to my misery. Why not? I was caught in a never-ending death loop. Just over and 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 over again. I was forced to watch my pussy be murdered by a son. So I went back in time. The Centurion allowed me to fuck it up again, and so did Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Just a little domestic violence joke there for you. I then made sure I had full health when going up the lift and headed out to talk to the nut job living in an iceberg. He gave me his pieces of shit, and I went right back to open up the stairs and finally make it into Blackreach, where I flew this cannibal ass right through, leaving little presents for all the Falmer. I then got the Elder Scroll and went back up to the mountaintop to get ready to fight Alduin. I took a quick peek into the past to learn the Chinese word to take down giant vaginas. I also watched it not work out so well for the old dudes, as they got absolutely fucked. If only there were vampire lords, right? Now this is where the real fun begins, and by fun I mean so fucking miserable that it causes me to hate this game and hate making this video, and makes me regret my life choices so much to the point I hate myself so much that it consumes my entire life, and makes me want to just give up everything. Change my name to Ricardo, I'm white by the way, get arrested for a petty crime, take on a lot of debt, and join the circus somewhere in the middle of Minnesota. Nah, I'm just kidding. It'll only be a little bit of debt. Anyways, yeah, fighting Alduin as a vampire lord was mildly annoying. I knew heading into this I was going to have a tough time doing much damage to him. The original plan was to hit him with Dragonrend and then quickly switch form back into a Vampire Lord so I can do as much damage as possible while he's grounded. This wasn't doing so hot, but it definitely gave me some third-degree burns. I honestly don't know what degree of burn it is if you're just fried to a crisp on the spot. Nevertheless, after a good 15 to 20 minutes of this strategy, he barely lost any health at all. I just can't hit him enough before Dragonrend wears off and he flies away again. The sheer time it takes for me to hurt him and the fact that I couldn't handle any form of heat whatsoever caused me to die repeatedly. It wasn't even Alduin that was killing me. Most of the time I was just getting hit by the meteor shower from the sky. I needed a new strategy. I needed to keep him on the ground. So I was gonna just try to stay as a cat and just keep hitting him with Dragonrend while Parthenax fucks him up for me. I was easily able to keep him on the ground at all times, but Parthenax couldn't do a cockspit's worth of damage, so that wasn't gonna work. So I had to come up with something else. I needed another friend to help me hurt him. Gargoyle always comes in clutch. My final strategy basically came down to this. Hit him with Dragonrend and then quickly switch over to Vampire Lord. Then I summoned my Gargoyle friend and switched right back into Big Kitty so that I could keep Alduin on the ground while the Gargoyle fucks him up. His job was to hurt Alduin, while my job was to keep him on the ground with Dragonrend. And also play the occasional dodgeball game with the Sky. I would sparingly hit him with my period blood blasts, but I kept that to a minimum because my main goal was to just keep him on the ground for my Gargoyle. Gargoyle eventually got his health low enough so that he won't try to fly away anymore, and together we finished him off. He then ran away like the giant black pussy he is. I died of boredom sitting for hours through a corporate presentation and called a giant pussy a pussy. He of course had to stand up for himself, which he did very successfully by burning me alive with one tiny little breath. And then again, I even tried to hide like a fat puss this time, but he still got my ass. Third time's the charm. I just had to literally sit behind the wall while he came at me and wait for him to get trapped. I then flew off like the biggest badass to have a badder ass than any other badass with a badass. That makes sense. Once I landed in Skuldolphin, I immediately waited till night and then immediately died. Nice. I had to just make a run for it to the nearest building I can go into and take cover with the Draugr. Let me just say, it wasn't any better in there. I ended up getting out of there and flying as fast as possible all the way to Skuldufn Temple, where I re-murdered all the already dead people with the help of my now best friend, Gargoyle. He really is the true MVP of this video. I wouldn't have made it this far without him. He really has grown on me from earlier. What an amazing story of friendship. Anyways, we killed the Draugr Overlord together to get the Dragon Claw and then immediately took some Cheeto breath up the ass before I could get into the portal. On the next attempt, they luckily didn't hit me with a blast, and I flew right by the priest boy and into Sovngarde. Once inside the land of the dead, I turned back into a cat, because I was scared if people saw me as a vamp lord, they would get all pissy. I tried to help this guy make it through the fog, but he got snatched up by the giant black puss right in front of me. Yeah, I was thinking... No! That was my friend! Oh, man. I then easily passed Soon's little test, and luckily he wasn't completely racist towards giant flying vampire beasts, so I made it into the hall, stole their ox heads, and gathered the pussy-slaying squad. We all then yelled into the night sky together like a normal Tuesday night with the boys, and it was time to take out Alduin for the last time and save the world. I used the same strategy as last time, only it was much easier, honestly. I didn't really need Gargoyle as much this time, because I had all the other boys with me, but he's worked so hard throughout this whole video. I figured he could just take a break this time anyways. I did die and become one with the dodgeball. They are always saying to be the ball, right? Eventually, after a short while, Alduin was defeated by a vampire lord and his friends. The giant black pussy was no match for this big hovering cannibalistic monster. The world was saved by a villain. But am I truly evil if I just saved the world from the Soul Eater? I know I might have murdered entire families, but that's just part of the job at this point, right? But anyways, I did it. Alduin was finally defeated for good, and I did it while being a vampire lord. Now, to officially answer the question, can you beat Skyrim as a vampire lord? Yes. I want to thank all you dilapidated doggos for making it all the way through my adventure to get as bricked up as Carl down the street. I hope you enjoyed, and I brought you the satisfaction you deserved when you clicked on this video. If I did, go pulverize that like button and tenderly tap the subscribe button with your left earlobe to get as bricked up as me and Carl. And as always, stay classy out there.